When it comes to planning a retreat, there's ways to get it to go from average to incredibly transformative. Welcome to Retreat Boss, where we speak about inspired travel for fun, transformation, and profit. Guest experts will give you their tips and tricks on creating the most impactful retreats, both for you and your clients. Whether you want a meditative getaway, a wellness trip, or a business escapade, we provide you with the best advice in organizing and hosting a tremendous event. Join Catherine Kontos as she talks with fellow experts about creating exclusive and successful retreats. Dive deep into the most unique activities, the best destinations to visit, and the most uplifting trips out there that you can discover. Here is your host, Catherine Kontos.
Hello, today we have Alison Katschkowsky with us from CU Fitness. She is an incredible retreat expert. She's been doing it for several years now, and we have her here today to talk with us on Retreat Boss. Alison, when we found you, we said she has to be on the show. Welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Tell me a bit about yourself and your business, how you got started, what made you make the switch also.
Well, it's like I said, I'm a fitness entrepreneur. I started off on my own way back before we even had social media and any of this other stuff. I just knew I wanted to work for myself. I've been in the fitness and health and fitness industry for pretty much all of my life. I grew up a competitive athlete. So I always wanted to do something in this industry. And so when I made the decision to leave my job and start my business, of course, I had always enjoyed doing events and getting people together. And then as I progressed into my journey, I knew I wanted to add retreats. I was just waiting for the right time to do it. And then about 5 years or so ago, I decided to add retreats as a way to connect and a way for people to experience community, for people to make connections. And because really that's when real change happens for us, is when we connect with other people. As human beings, we're designed and created to be with other people. We're not created to be alone.
And how did you go from, was it an easy process to convert like that into the retreat world as an add-on to your business?
Well, I think, and I'm so glad you asked me that, because I think we can always get good ideas of what to add to our business or something new to try, but we're not exactly sure what it's going to look like. And so for me, the first couple of retreats I did, I really sort of felt like I was kind of figuring it out as I went along. And so the first few events I did were very small. They were local. I did one event that was a fairly close drive for my people to get to. And I kept it small because I wanted to sort of feel into the experience and feel like, first of all, I knew what I was doing. And second, that the experience was really what I had in my mind that I wanted it to be. And it's just kind of blossomed from there.
And did you start small, like a few days with a small amount of group of people? How did you initially start, just to help the people that are thinking about doing it?
The very first retreat I ever did, I did a local event. It was one day. It was right here in Raleigh, where I live, Raleigh, Carolina. And I rented a beautiful room downtown that was full of windows all the way around. It was called the Glass Box, is the name of the room, actually.
Oh, beautiful.
People can rent it for private parties and wedding functions and all that. And so my vision was this was going to be kind of a day to a reset and recharge for people. And it took me 3 months to put it together, because I was constantly trying to research and figure out what kind of experience I wanted, who was this for, what types of things was I going to do, how did I want to price it, and all of that. And I just had to feel it out as I went along. My coach was really instrumental in just helping me kind of get the marketing nuts together. I understand all that being in business, but when you're doing something for the first time, there's always a learning curve that goes with it.
Absolutely.
And so I wanted to keep it easy on myself by having a local event. And then the next event I did was a weekend at the beach. And that was easy because I'm 2 hours from the coast. So it was kind of an easy sell to people to get in the car to drive versus buying a plane ticket and all that. Mm-hmm. The next event I did, I took a group down to the Florida Keys, where I've personally been on vacation for the last 25 years or so. So I wanted to go to an area that I really knew, that I understood the culture. I knew people there that could help me get things done. So it wasn't like I was a brand new participant visiting an area. I couldn't imagine doing a retreat without having somebody's eyes and ears on the ground to kind of help guide me. I've blossomed since then.
Well, I find that, the way you did it is very like low anxiety in a sense where you're familiar. You did it first, locally, a 1 day thing, feeling it out, trying to see, do I like this? How is it going to work? Let me do a bit of a beta, program here and see how it's going to work. And then I like how you just pivoted to, you didn't go international. You still went, within your country and somewhere where you were familiar with the area, which made it a lot easier for you. You didn't have to worry about all those logistics. So that's actually a very smart way of doing it when you first start. So you've done how many now?
I have done 14 retreats.
Oh, very nice.
Month to lead my 15th one, and I'm taking a group to the Turks and Caicos in the Caribbean.
And what do you focus on during? And how many days are you going for? A week this time, or?
It'll be 5 days.
5 days. And what are you focusing on exactly? What is it like? What is your goal for this retreat coming up?
My retreats, what I have really found in my learning process with doing retreats is that I love to have a theme that I work with. And I allow myself plenty of time and space when I'm being inspired as to where I feel called to take people. And then what is it that I really want my people to walk away with? Because I want them to come home with kind of this renewed sense of who they are. And for lack of a better way to say it, a blueprint and a plan that they can follow. So they can simply in their mind go back to the experience and let them enjoy that experience again. And so what I find is when I stick to a certain theme or a feeling that I want my people to have, then it allows me to really tap into my creativity and really create a unique experience where I can play off the environment and play off the culture a little bit and enjoy some unique activities that are really unique to the area where we go, so that my participants really feel like they're literally getting away from their day-to-day life. I mean, that's really why people go on retreat and just immerse themselves in a different experience.
Incredible. So it sounds like you've got a great blueprint, actually. And how did you have to maybe switch it around or adapt to the new situation that we're in today with the pandemic?
Well, I'm so glad you asked me that, because last year I had 5 retreats on my calendar that I basically had to scrap like everybody else. Mm. And so instead, after I let some time go by, when it became evident that, we more or less had a better idea of what we were facing. I think in the beginning, nobody knew what we were dealing with and how long it was going to last.
Right.
And so what I did was I had to allow myself to get back into the space of when I first started. How can I make this a unique experience that's different, that's innovative, that's creative? And what I came back to was I took a small group to the mountains, which is a 2.5-hour drive for me. Mm-hmm. And we were able to keep it really small so people had plenty of space. People had their own quarters, so there wasn't that close contact that people were concerned about. And being in the mountains, we were able to be outside quite a bit. And then when it looked like we could start to travel and do things again, one of my retreats was in the Keys. It was supposed to be in May, and I was able to move it till December. And the state of Florida has different rules and regulations right now than a lot of other places. So I was able to basically just downscale what I had planned and have it in December. Now, it was a smaller group. There were a few people that elected not to come, but I still was able to create the type of experience that I wanted with a smaller group. And then this year, I took another group back to the Keys in May, and it was amazing. I mean, it was so just off the charts, life-changing for the people that came. Became so evident to me how hungry people are to travel and get together.
Right. And how did you change it up in your marketing? Because a lot of people are fearful to travel,
right.
Fearful
Totally.
to get sick, fearful to be around other people. How were you able to convince people to travel?
Well, I think people are people. What we have to remember as business owners is our clients, our prospects, our customers, however you frame it, are looking to take their cues from us. And if we make them feel safe and secure, they're going to feel safe and secure. So we first and foremost have to be in 100% certainty that what we're doing, number one, is the right thing. And number two, is exactly what our people need. And with what we've all been through the last 18 months or so, there is nothing more that people need than a private, sacred, safe space to disconnect from the chaos that we've all had to live with and find ourselves again and connect to our purpose. And because at the end of the day, if we don't have our health, if we don't have a positive, strong mindset that lends itself to growth, being home and being fearful all the time is not going to do that. And so what we have to understand as business owners and entrepreneurs is that the ball falls in our court to be able to provide that experience for our customers. And if we feel like we can do that, then we absolutely should be able to do that and should do that. That was kind of my mindset all along with all this.
And what protocols did you implement to create this feel of safetiness? And
well, the properties that I chose, I was very careful to make sure that they were following, safety and cleanliness guidelines. I mean, what I thought was really interesting in the travel industry in particular is that and it's not that I don't believe they were doing it to start with, but it became apparent to me that places are so much more conscious about how they explain that to people now than they ever used to be.
They have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so what I found in my messaging was that I just had to be very careful how I explain what it is that we were going to do. Use the words social distance, use the words, you will have your own room and your own bath. We will be spread out. We will be outside, all the things that the experts have advised us to do. I just had to be very careful and mindful that that was in my language and that what I was talking about with people was in fact that. Now I did have, in all honesty, I did have people, a few people push back and say, I don't think this is a good idea for me right now. And I was completely 100% in agreement with them if that's what they felt like was the best thing for them. I never found myself in a situation where I was making people feel like they had to do it. I think you get to a certain point and people feel like they're ready or they're not ready. And, we have to be open to what that looks like for people.
Absolutely. And if you don't, you're going to lose your business at this time.
Yeah,
any business, absolutely. Not only the retreat business, in any business. And I have to agree with you. And I say it to everyone, the retreat business, that type of travel will be the hottest trend in 2022. Because everything that happened to people, to their mind, to their soul during COVID, and they need exactly what you say, a connection with other people, a reason to figure out like what's happening, what did I just experience, and recharge and learn from what instead of being fearful for the rest of your life, learn from that experience and transform yourself into this new way of living that we are right now, and who knows for how long, right? So
yeah, right, totally.
Yeah. So I absolutely completely align with your message there. Is there anything that you do during your retreat that creates that transformation that everybody's looking for?
Well, I do a lot of interaction in groups. So I usually try to stay in line with my theme. So for example, my theme for Key West this past May, which was, May of this year, was transform your life with time for you in 5 days. So it was a 5-day event. I wanted that to be very clear. But I also wanted the point to be clear that what we were working on were strategies for people to be able to disconnect for themselves so that they could actually still practice that when they got home.
Okay.
So one of the things that we always do in the beginning is kind of a group activity where we're able to sort of outline what we have come for. Why are we here? What's our goal while we're here? And that type of thing. And that really helps me in the other activities, make sure that I customize the types of questions and the types of things that we do to really fit that for each person. And so what I have found I've had to do over probably the last year or 2 years, year and a half really, is to give myself plenty of time to, open time when I'm scheduling a retreat. The first couple of retreats I did, I tried to pack too much in.
Yeah, that's a mistake that a lot of newbies do.
And now I don't do that. I leave plenty of open time because if I have someone show up on the first day and, I'm going through a divorce and I'm looking to find myself again. And I've never really paid attention to myself. And I'd have a tough time saying yes to myself when I get home. I have to keep that in mind with what we do so that they feel like they're having the kind of experience that's just right for them.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Do you have room for that retreat? Is there still openings?
Yeah, I do. I have, believe it or not, I have one room left for my Caribbean retreat in October. And then I have 5 spots left for my Key West. I'm taking a group back to Key West in December. I love going to Key West. That's why I always do events there. And I have a beautiful, beautiful property in mind for that. And I have 5 spots left for that. Next year, I'm going to be going, I have like 3 or 4 locations already scouted out. I just have to nail the dates down. So I love doing retreats. Eventually, I want to be doing one every month, I think.
So you'll be traveling a whole lot, I see. That's in the plan.
I love to travel. We live in a big world. There's a lot to see. There's a lot to experience. And for people like you and I who are meant to be on this planet to really create great impact with people, I mean, the retreat experiences is something that I know that I was just born to do. So.
And it's an incredible feeling for the facilitator as well. Like, yeah. I know when I've hosted, I come out of it feeling almost guilty. Like, my goodness, I got so much out of it, right?
I know. Well, and I also think for people that go, I think you can have an idea in mind about what you're looking for, but you walk away with so much more than what you thought you were going to get, you know? And I think as a facilitator, and I know you get this too, as a facilitator, that is really where I am in my best space to serve, is where I feel like I can just be super creative and hold space for the people who are there and just experience it with them, you know, because we walk away a changed person too. It's not just the people that come and, you know, and experience with us. I mean, I walk away impacted by what my people are able to do too.
Do you do it on your own, or do you have help during the retreat?
I've done it both ways. I've done it on my own. And then the last couple retreats I've done, the one in Key West, I had a colleague join me, and she taught a couple of sessions. I did most of the sessions, and then she taught a couple of them, and it was a wonderful compliment to my theme. And then I have a colleague joining me in Turks and Caicos for the same thing. She's going to teach a couple of sessions too. And because our theme is about raising your frequency and vibration. There's not a better place to go than Turks and Caicos for that.
Absolutely.
And so she's teaching a session that will complement what I do. So, and it's a win-win for everybody when we do that.
Where's your dream destination?
New Zealand.
Oh my God, me too.
I love it. I've always wanted to go. It's the top of my bucket list. And until they open their borders, I really can't, you know, even begin to think.
Right. Yeah, they're very strict on their borders and closing up really quickly. So yeah, it might be a while.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there are other places. Like, I'd like to go to Italy. I'd like to go to the French Riviera. I'd like to do possibly St. Lucia. That's another place in the Caribbean I've never been.
It's beautiful.
There are lots of places that I can choose, but someday I'm going to take a group to New Zealand. So
yeah. So where can people find you? Where can they connect with you?
They can come over and join my free Facebook community. It's called Living Your Ultimate Life Through Fitness and Self-Care. I will make sure that you have all the links so people can find me there. They're welcome to send me a DM through Facebook if they want. I'm also on Instagram at Fit Style Gal is my name there. That's actually how you found me.
Yes.
So, you know, people are more than welcome to just send me a message and just, you know, ask. And I like to have an organic conversation. I still do. I still respond to all of my messages. None of my team does that. I feel very strongly about that, at least right now. So
important. Yes. And where can they find the retreats? Within the group?
Yes. I have a retreat website where they can see all of my trips coming up. It's called cufitnessretreats.com. The letter C, the letter U, fitnessretreats.com.
Okay. Is there anything that you'd like to offer to whoever's listening today, to the Retreat Boss community?
Yes. I mean, anybody, as a free gift, anybody would like to hop on a quick, you know, consultation call with me for half an hour or so, I'm happy to offer that as a free gift to any of your listeners. If people have questions about retreats or traveling or, you know, anything like that, I'm happy to offer my time.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for coming here today and adding so much value to our podcast and to our listeners. So that's it. Follow Alison on her Facebook group community and also on Instagram if you wish, whatever is more convenient for you. Alison, I hope to meet you one day in person and
absolutely, me too.
And create some magic.
Yeah, maybe New Zealand. Who knows? Yeah, right.
You never know. We put it out there today. We put it out there.
Right. That's right.
So thank you very much. Take care of yourself and have a fantastic retreat.
I will. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I am so excited.
Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Retreat Boss podcast. When it comes to achieving wellness and transformation, Nothing is more effective and profound than a well-orchestrated retreat. Achieve huge revenue growth, one trip at a time. Want to learn more on expanding your business with retreats? Visit retreatboss.com, when profitable retreats are made easy. Be sure to leave a rating and subscribe to the show at retreatboss.com/podcast. Until next time, take care.